say thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And I can't help but wonder if it's the collective, because this weekend, like Saturday, and a lot of Sunday, I couldn't even move, and I was like, okay, this is one of those projector times where you just need to rest. You've been, so Saturday, I literally, all I did was read. I laid down and just read
Yeah.
nothing. I wasn't taking anything in. I was
Oh.
just looking out the window and reading something for fun,
Yeah.
fiction,
Yeah,
so.
kind of the same for me, but I watched um Netflix.
Oh, good.
And I
That's my
laid on my
favorite.
bed and I watched Travelers. It's a new, at least for me, it's a new series when in which what I kind of find funny because we're working with the Bardo is that just before somebody dies, another consciousness drops in their body to complete a mission. They come with teams and they then come together and they come from the future because their humanity is being threatened by all kinds of stuff and they're trying to change history so the future gets better. So
Oh,
I
cool. I wrote it down. Maybe I'll check it out.
yeah, it's kind of well, it's constantly kind of action in the first series because I went through series number 2 already. That's
That's
how bad it
great.
is.
No.
And then at some point, it does show about how they develop feelings for the beings that they are interacting with. So it's like you can come, from a whole nother timeline with your consciousness and with a mission, but still the humanness of connecting and try to do good. It's yeah. So that's what I've been doing, like, and sleeping a lot. My sleep has been
Me
same.
too.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like Saturday, I'm a night owl, but Saturday I was out by 10, and I didn't get up until like 9. I slept 11 hours, and
Yeah.
and I Netflix. I have one of my favorite. I love there's a there are I like Danish TV.
Really, my husband too.
So one of my favorites is Seaside Hotel.
Okay.
And so there was a new season, so I watched the whole
The whole day,
season.
right?
Well, like, after I couldn't read anymore, I was
Right.
just, took me Saturday and Sunday. But and my other favorite one is Bonus Family. I
Oh,
don't
I
know
don't
if
know that
y'all.
one either. But maybe Netflix is different for the US as it is for the Netherlands, because when I was in Costa Rica, I saw there were certain series that I couldn't watch and some new ones that I can't watch here. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe. But anyway, it's so funny.
Yeah. But it kind of makes me feel good that you had the same. It's not that like there's something wrong with
Well,
me.
that's why I'm sharing it, because and Sunday was just slightly better. I mean, seriously, I had to like bribe myself to, the suitcase was still lying on the floor from, me getting home
Right.
Tuesday night. I hadn't done anything. So, I travel with this, it's like these bags that you pack your stuff in. They're like cubes, and then
Okay. Yeah.
so um Sunday, I just pulled the cubes out of the suitcases
I
to
put them
move
in.
the suitcases up, and the cubes were stacked in my closet. And this morning, I set the timer for 15 minutes, and I said, "Do what you can do in 15 minutes, but at least
You
you'll
really
have."
set a timer?
I set the timer because I was like, I'm looking at those cubes, and I'm thinking it's freaking Tuesday, a week, and I'm still not unpacked.
Yeah, but you had a busy week, right?
I did. Well, I got home Tuesday
Yeah.
night, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I was slammed because this happens a lot when I travel. People call for appointments, and I won't book during while I'm traveling. So I'll say, well, my first available is this. So I come home, and I've got busy days of appointments and
Right.
so and then school, teaching, I had a grade and
Yeah.
yeah, so it was it I was I was attributing it to, okay, you
That's
had
it. Yeah.
3 busy days, but
Yeah.
honestly, that usually doesn't
Matter.
affect me. And
Mm.
honestly, I sleep when I'm at my son's. They know. I go into my room and I don't get up until 9 or 9:30. Whenever I wake up, I don't
Yeah.
change to East Coast time. I stay on
Natural.
um my natural schedule,
Right.
and they don't bother me. And I go to bed when I go to bed, and I sleep till I sleep, unless there's something special going on. So I didn't feel tired when I left their house. I was rested and happy, and
Yeah.
so it was a little weird to be waylaid on Saturday, like, like no life force, just none.
Right.
So I hear you, sister.
Oh.
I can't
Yeah.
help but
Yeah.
wonder if there's something.
Yeah, I'm gonna check right now. I had to do that earlier, but even for that, I didn't have the energy.
I didn't either. I haven't had the energy to do the May moon, and I keep thinking about it, and I want to do it. It's just I haven't had the energy for it.
Yeah, the
I
360 is still on, but
mm,
also, the channel of struggle, the 28th. Oh, they're so small. I can't read the other one. I think it's the which one is it? Oh my God, I need my glasses. Wait a second. Let me pick just one. The 3828. That's also the channel of struggle. And then the 360, which we talked about the last time. So I guess I think I'm feeling that because I know about the 360. We talked about it, that it is like it can feel like a depression. And I know that it's deep rest, depression, deep rest. So I feel like we're being called to take a rest.
yeah,
And I also feel like maybe that's different for you, and maybe you experience a little bit different. But for me, as a manifesting generator, there's always this need to do something, or otherwise I feel like I'm lazy, or there's always something inside of me that needs to do or to create or to whatever. And when I don't do that, there's a little struggle inside of me, like, but you're lazy, that monkey in your head. And I kind of feeling now that because of these two channels, the channel of struggle and then the 360, I don't know the name of that channel by head. I believe it has to do with mutation. So, but anyhow, I feel like these are, because
it's
they're
yeah,
coming from
channel
the
mutation, channel of innovation.
right, right. Wow. And that only can come from like deep rest, right? You have to allow the rest in your head, the rest in your body, the rest in your, or maybe even your, well, yes or no, I'm not sure. Maybe even the rest in your emotions, even though I feel a restlessness, but that's maybe also because I have that 36. And then for you, you have the hook now for the 35, 36, which is also activated. Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel like your emotions are?
Uh, Fairly stable. However, when I'm tired, this is this often creates, when I'm tired, in that deep tired way where I have no energy. I've learned to be really honest about it, like to say to Trey, I'm exhausted.
Mhm.
And he doesn't always take that well.
Mhm.
It's like, well, maybe that's not an accurate way of saying it. He often, this is fact, when I say I'm exhausted, he often pushes me,
Mm.
and I'll say, I'm really tired. I can't do that right now. And he'll keep pushing until I snap.
Mm. Mm.
So um, then that creates something, right?
Right.
So, but the I think the thing that is powerful for me is that I don't come off of the old me would have just pushed through
Right.
and been there. And in myself, I just say, I'm exhausted. I can't do that with you right
And then he still pushes you, but you still say no, no, no. Yeah, that's a good thing.
now. And it's hard.
Mm.
It upsets me.
Yeah.
And, I said to him Saturday when it happened, I said, this makes me not trust you
Mm.
because I've been honest. I'm
Yeah.
exhausted. I
Right.
don't have the energy for that right now. Can we talk about it later? I
Mm.
can listen to you right now about lighthearted things, about, just
Right.
general things, but I don't have the bandwidth to make a decision right now.
Right.
I don't have the bandwidth to give advice right now. I can be present. That's the energy that I have.
Yeah.
I can listen, but
Then
don't
he
have
struggles
a
with that because he kind of needs you and wants you in that moment. Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, if I snap, I feel bad for
Yeah.
snap,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But I also haven't come off my dime, like
Yeah.
I'm consistent. And then but what's the gift there? The gift is to have a conversation about trust.
Yeah.
To say, when you push me like that, when I've been really honest, I don't trust you. You're not trustworthy because I've been vulnerable with you. I've said I'm exhausted, and you pushed and you pushed and you pushed. That are you not
Yeah.
listening?
And I feel the 22 in that dishonor. He is dishonoring your feelings in that moment. He's dishonoring you not having any energy. Because what I do know and notice with the two of us, even from previous conversations, is that um, for me, the emotional wave is connected to energy and like it's in motion, emotion in motion. So it's energy in motion. And I feel like when there's no emotional energy, because you don't have a sacral and I do. Well, you do have a sacral, but you don't have it defined. It has to do with that emotional energy. And sometimes it's just there's no more. You've used everything. And I recognize when you say then you snap. When I'm, you're going, and you kind of already feel that you don't have the bandwidth, like you said, you don't have that emotional energy to move or to do or whatever. And when you push through, you snap. And you get, well, like I said before, you get agitated. Yeah, that's kind of like snapping, and you can't have that deep talk or have that. You can't provide the need for others, but you have to provide for yourself. I feel
Right,
like your battery has to reload, right?
right. And I feel like this is good to talk about because it's taken me a long time because uh, to to be okay with anger. I don't like it, but I've come to the place in my life where I understand that there is what my friend Dominique Sarr says is appropriate anger.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes anger is appropriate.
Yeah.
And that's even a part of I believe it's the five in the Gene Keys, where Richard talks about how sometimes the five is serves as the release valve for anger in the field that other people are not expressing.
Mm.
And the five is my life's work. So
Yeah,
uh,
interesting.
yeah, so it annoyed me that I had to express anger to stop,
At the bound.
the
Yeah.
train. I guess, I another off, in when I was contemplating afterwards, I thought, why didn't you just get up and walk away? And I realized that I had got myself a little slack because I was exhausted.
Right.
I didn't have all my bandwidth.
Right.
If I had had all my bandwidth, I'd have just walked away immediately. I would have said, I'm tired and, I'm exhausted. And I would have just walked away. I'd have gone in my room. But I was so tired. I didn't even have the bandwidth.
To get up. Right.
Like, I mean, I've listened to one of my favorite podcasts is a podcast called Hidden Brain. And this guy, Shankar Vedanta, he talks to all kinds of researchers and scientists about issues with the brain. And one whole series he did was when people are exhausted, they looked at what kind of decisions they made and how when people are exhausted, they actually have less and less access to their mental functioning. And so they make decisions that other people who are not exhausted looking on would say, how in the hell did you make that decision? So I had to, after, I don't like snapping because I have patience,
Right.
impatience, patience, timelessness as my
Right.
life's work,
Right.
and so it's taken me a long time to understand that sometimes an expression of anger is appropriate. And when is it appropriate? When is it not appropriate? When it's not appropriate, is um, when you're triggered.
Right.
But I mean, the easiest one is to see someone being abused. Of course, you are angry when you see somebody else abusing someone else. So that's an easy example of what would be an appropriate expression of anger. And then, there's the appropriate way to express anger. What's your come from when you
Right.
express it? And I think maybe that's what I was a bit disappointed in myself because I can express extreme anger without raising my voice. There's a way to articulate anger.
And this
And
time you raised your voice?
I raised my voice.
Hmm.
Stop.
Right. But
Stop.
isn't that because he was just pushing and pushing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So isn't that a correct anger then?
I,
I,
I
f-
feel like,
I
I feel
feel
like,
like too.
yeah, I feel like, I mean, it all worked out. We talked about it, and it got us to a really good discussion about trust and trustworthiness and um, really hearing what the other person is saying. And so, but I didn't really want to have that conversation in that moment. I was
Mm,
exhausted.
right.
But I'm looking at the 360 and I'm like, does Trey have the 360? I think he might. Wait, hold on. Because he has,
I know he has the 4629, but I'm not sure about his route.
or maybe together we do. No, he has the 3457 and the 2946. No, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna look at something else.
No, but he is experiencing this transit as well, then.
Yeah, he's experiencing the transit as well.
Right.
That's true. I have the 60. But also I was thinking about it, and was it a reflection of um when he's here, I have access to the sacral through his, and the spleen through his, and the G through his. And then
Right.
I was contemplating, oh, when I'm exhausted, because this is a pattern with us.
Hmm.
Um, when I'm exhausted, is it that I'm not being conditioned by his um the channel of devotion, so I'm not expressing devotion, and so his wound is triggered. Oh my, like, does he feel, and oh my, she's not devoted to me? Or when I'm exhausted, does my penetrating field stop penetrating, and so he comes in, he doesn't feel me lock into his
Right.
G,
Mm.
with reflection of devotion. So he's like, his
Where
field,
is she?
when
I wonder.
his
Yeah.
field is like,
Yeah.
where is she? Where is she? She's gonna leave me. My wound is triggered. Like, I don't know. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Well,
But
it also could be like a man woman thing, like a couples thing, because I'm kind of experiencing the same. It's kind we talk about it like it's each time. It doesn't happen often, but like now it's taking a longer time. It's been for a couple of weeks now that I feel different, and I'm not in my high wave or in the middle. I'm kind of on the low side, and I
mhm,
don't have as much energy, and I feel like, yeah, I feel non-productive, so to speak, and nothing is
mhm,
moving. I feel kind of a little bit stuck, even though we're working on stuff. There are other things that I was, starting with my 53, and it doesn't really flow like I want it to flow. So then the flow kind of stops. So I have that energy around me, that all the things that are with me at that moment. And when my husband comes home and I'm a little bit in my low, and I'm more sensitive, so to speak, it almost feels like he can't handle that. He always expects me to be this bubbly person all day, every day of the year. And so I even say it to him when he gets even more frustrated or angry or emotional over me. And he has an emotional authority as well, but he kind of takes over my mood and makes it worse. And then I go like, what do you get to be angry or frustrated or emotional about? I'm the one who needs you right now. And then he kind of wakes up, but yes, but no, but and then we talk about it. And I go, I want to be in my low now. You have to support me now,
right.
And then we laugh about it. But I kind of feel the same with you. It's like these men are kind of dependent on our presence.
And when that's what's flowing from me, when that's what's in my way, it's so easy, and I love that. But that's not,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
not
designed to be at that highway, that
right.
outflow 24/7,
Right.
365 days a year. I'm designed
Exactly.
to flow out and flow in, flow out and flow in, and then I got
Yeah.
the wave.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
um, so maybe this is a good conversation to share with people, because, and I was thinking about it as I was listening to you, that also I had a call from one of my sons yesterday, and almost the same kind of thing that you said at the beginning, and then also um, here toward the end. And we have projects that we work on together. And yesterday he was just, he was like, I could tell from the minute he said hello, he wasn't feeling good. His back was hurting him. It was down. And he was down about our projects. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited about our projects. And we're not, he feels like we're not moving fast enough. And I'm like,
Yeah.
um, I let's like actually look at this, and maybe this is, he's not, let me just, he's splenic, and he has defined root, sacral, and spleen. Um, and I was talking him through this, and I'm like, holy moly, I'm so excited. And I realized we're not moving at the rate that we had hoped to move, or we had set for ourselves. But maybe this, because I'm in tune with my emotional wave, and I'm like, there's a divine timing to
Right.
this.
Yeah.
And we've pivoted a little bit, and we're just getting into a bit of our pivot. And I'm like, maybe we're supposed to pivot right here. And maybe because we wanted this thing, and maybe that's little, maybe the universe wants something bigger for us. And this is the way to get to the bigger thing. And I think we need to be patient here. Um, and he's Aries, so just 90 miles an hour. But I mean, there was some parallels to what
Right.
you were talking about. And interestingly, he has the 952.
Same as me.
Right.
So that might be a thing.
When we are in our synthesis, we're both 4 6s with open G's.
Yeah, true.
We got something that AI don't have.
Yeah. And we have together that 4426, that transmission. And the funny thing is that I'm seeing it now because both of these guys of the tribe that want to be in that team have that 4426, and I'm seeing how they bring forth a message. Like their transmute, or yeah, that transmission is the right word. They are transmitting like all their knowledge and where to be for knowledge, and what this means and what that means and where you can find it. And I can't even explain it, but I see them doing it. And I also believe that the 4426 is about creating something. And I know it's a tribal. Yeah, you can look it up because I don't have the I have the
Channel of surrender, channel of alignment. The energy to transform pain into something of greater value and share it. Wow. The will to stay in integrity with yourself and others, even if you're scared or feel less than. The ability to transform past patterns and create something sustainable and valuable for yourself and others.
Yeah.
The will to do the right thing even when it's hard.
Yeah.
We're talking all around this.
Yeah. That's why I'm just quiet. Which line do you have your 44? Do you know that by head?
Um, it is in the 5 and the 2.
Ooh. The natural and the leader.
Well, my soul wants the divine partnership, which is
The 2.
what I get with you for lifetimes, karmically.
Yeah. And which planet do you have it?
In Neptune.
Oh, it doesn't give an extra line here. In the Book of Lines, the 44.2 is being conscientious, watching any impulse to give yourself away. When you restrain any impulses to act carelessly, you can easily handle situations clearly.
Which book are you in? The Karen Curry Parker?
No, the Book of Lines.
The Book of Lines, Chetan Parkyn.
Yeah. And the 44.5. The 44.2 is a blue line. Oh, no, it's also a black line. Sorry, it's dark here. Because blue lines in these books mean that you have to grow into them. So it's not like a gift already, something you have to learn and grow into. But it's black, so you already have that gift. And the 44.5 is integrating, upholding a presence that is exemplary. You align with the laws of nature and high integrity, or take advantage if you can. That's why sometimes English is like, I want to translate this like with the AI because I want to know, what does it mean, that line?
Well, I mean, part of this is really powerful to me in the sense that you align with the laws of nature and high integrity. I feel like that is who I am. I
Absolutely.
mean, my highest, my intention is to be my highest vibration in every moment.
Right.
I'm not always there, but that's my hope, right?
Right.
It's what moves me forward. And then, or take advantage if you can. When I read that, what I hear is, what do you take advantage of? Circumstances, energy, use what's around you
Opportunities. Yeah.
to the best of your capacity.
Right.
If you don't have it in you, look around you. You
Right.
know, I think that's what a 4-6 does.
Right. Yeah.
And actually, that's what good leaders do. Good leaders don't have all the answers. They know how to take advantage of the people and the resources around them to create something for the greater good.
True.
You
Hmm.
know.
Yeah. Thank you for explaining that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my 26 is my 26.6. And in my North Node, Design North Node, it's the 26.3, I thought. Let me check. Yeah, 26.3 in my North Node, which is a blue line. So it means you have to grow into it. So I have to grow into my environment. It's being prepared, being clear in your motivations and how to exercise them well. You succeed with or without the help of others when you overcome your fears and doubt. Just throw the book away. I don't want to hear this.
And that's what I'm spurring in you.
And then the 26.6 is also a blue line, so something to grow into, which is my design Earth. Um, being poised. Creative energy is released from a place of inner equilibrium. Accumulating and utilizing energy wisely needs you to be balanced. This balance is internal. Yeah, I get that. I think I get it. But maybe you can, what do you feel when you hear that?
Well, given the context of our conversation today, my question to you is, what are you doing to be balanced within yourself?
I'm taking my rest. I'm surrendering. And that's where I hear my 40.1. I'm 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 surrendering to every moment to how I feel. Even
Yeah,
though my mind wants to, proceed and progress and see action.
right.
And I know there's a lot of layers that already are gone from it, but there's, these voices, they get softer and softer, but they're never gone, you know?
And because when you look, oh, I guess it's sun and moon, and you have it in the earth.
Yeah, I have it in the earth.
Um, I feel like we're at the perfect nexus of the 26 and the your 26 expressions and my 44
Yeah.
expressions.
And I love it that you have the 2,
Mhm.
I have the 3, and then you have the 5, and then I have the 6.
What a great harmonic of
Right.
our programs.
Yeah.
Um, Interestingly enough, we don't have the 1 and the 4. So, maybe that's why you don't want to research right now.
Yeah. I don't want to lay the foundation, but I know I have to. But well, no, that's what I wrote to you, that my learning curve is trying things out,
Yeah.
like doing it and then having the experience and then just again play with it. So that's
Yeah,
the
I just
third
want to have the
line.
learning experience with you.
Yeah.
I expert to feel like you can play with me because I'm not an expert. So I'm like, come on and play with me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't need you to
maybe
be an
it's my fear
expert.
of, it's not really a fear, but because I have a tendency to people that I feel like they're very well, I feel like you're I can't even explain what I I feel about you and what I think about you. So I put you kind of on a pedestal,
And I
and
put
then
you
I
on
would,
a pedestal.
I know, but then I would, I want to be, I want to be good enough for you.
Sister, you're nothing to prove. You have nothing to prove.
I know, but I want,
Nothing. Nothing. You are completely perfect. Exactly as you are. Nothing to prove.
yeah, yeah, I know, but I don't. Yeah, my brain knows, but
I guess I would ask you, do you trust me enough to go on an adventure?
yeah, always. Yeah.